perfect. So hello and welcome back to another album review. Now, and I know I only just did a video yesterday, but I've got a lot of videos I want to do this week, so I kind of wanted to not quickly get them done, so I don't want to rush my videos, of course, but I kind of wanted to jump straight onto the next video today. Built a nice little background artwork thingamabob here in the background, because this is a really special video for me. Because the release of Eric Clapton's 2016 album, I Still Do, has finally come out, and here I am to review the album for you guys. So in this review, I'm going to do the usual. I'm going to give you a bit of information on the album. We're going to go over each track individually and mark them out of 10. Then we're going to go over the vinyl record, and I'm also going to mark the artwork out of 10. Then we're going to add up all the scores I've given it, divide it by the total number of scores I've given it, head over to the album ranking board, see where it lands on the album ranking board, and that'll be it. So anyway, let's get started, because this album here, I have a lot to talk about. This is a very incredible album for me. So before we go into it, I just want to say how special this album is to me, because I'm one of the biggest Clapton fans. I absolutely love the man, all the way from his early days in the Yardbirds, all the way through to his album I Still Do. I've absolutely loved every period for Clapton. I love the early 70s, slow bluesy sound, which we got off No Reason to Cry, Slow Hand, and Backless. I love the 80s sound, which we got from albums like Money and Cigarettes, Behind the Sun, and Journeyman. I love the 90s sound through Unplugged, From the Cradle, Pilgrim, and then I love the early 2000s sound with a much cleaner, polished sound through albums Reptile, Back Home, and then I love the most recent albums from him. The Road to Escondido, Self-Titled Clapton, and Old Sock were incredible albums, and his last album in 2014, which you can see just here, I do own all of his albums on vinyl, but I thought I'd do a bit of a mix of some on vinyl, some on CD. But his most latest album here, The Breeze and Appreciation of J.J. Cale, all cover songs of J.J. Cale. A pretty good album, pretty good. I'd say that's actually one of his weaker ones, so it's actually really cool to have him come back with a strong album like this. But anyway, this album here was released on May 20th, 2006. 2016. See, look, I'm talking too fast. I'm talking too fast because I'm getting excited. Calm down, calm down. Anyway, so chart positions. I couldn't find the chart positions in America because I don't know how to do that because I'm British. I tried to find it. I couldn't. I miserably failed at it though. But anyway, UK chart position. Of course, the album's only been out 2 weeks, so hopefully it will change. Hopefully it will go up. It hit number 6 in the UK, which a little bit disappointing. I can't lie. You know, I know that there's some big albums out. You know, Drake's new albums come out. I'm not a Drake fan, but you know his album's going to be big and popular. And a very popular teen singer, Ariana Grande or something like that, I think it is. She's just brought out an album which went straight to number 1. So I knew that it'd be hard for Eric to get top 5. I was hoping he would get number 5. But you got number 6, unfortunately. But anyway, that's not a bad position. That's pretty good for a blues musician. I mean, today, blues music is definitely, I love it. I don't want to sound negative here. Blues music, incredible. But, you know, it's something which is not as popular as what it once was. So for him to get to number 6 doing blues stuff is incredible, I think. That's a number 1 spot for me. That's a brilliant achievement. So yeah, pretty good there, him getting into number 6. He brought back the producer from Slow Hand here, almost making it for the 40th anniversary. 39th, not too bad, just 1 year out. Of course, Glyn Jones, fantastic producer, incredible. And also, I'm going to come back to this at the end, and when we go over the artwork, but of course, he brought in Peter Blake to do the album artwork. That's pretty incredible. That's the guy who done Sgt. Pepper's. I mean, that's pretty amazing. So anyway, we're going to come back to that at the end. But anyway, let's get started with the tracks. So then there are 12 tracks on this album in total. 2 of which were written by Eric. Of course, the rest are all covers. You know what Eric's like. You know he's going to fill the album. At least half the album will be covers. But in this case, it's actually a lot more than half. But anyway, let's get started. So the first track is called Alabama Woman Blues. By a guy called Oh, hang on, I can't even read my own handwriting here. Corey Carr, I think that's it. I think it's Corey, but I've put an E down instead. Hang on, it will say in my CD digipack here. Let's have a look. Pretty sure it was. Oh, it's L. It's an L. I thought it was a C. Leroy Carr, of course. I knew that. But anyway, this song here opens up the album in a very interesting way because there's two songs on this album, this one and Cypress Grove, which we'll get to later, that really remind me of this album here from the Cradle, which is why I put this album out on purpose. Because it has this really kind of heavy blues feel, which Clapton really captured on this album here with songs like Hoochie Coochie Man. And it's interesting because, as I said, there's only two songs on the album which really sound like that. So it's interesting that he decided to open the album with that. But I'm over the moon that he did because I love the heavy guitar riff. It has this crazy piano in the background, which is all over the place, but it fits in with the heavy guitar so well. Just really raw piece here, with this Clapton's vocals are just so good. They're so raw. I mean, you can tell they're coming from the back of his throat. Fantastic. And you can hear the organ in the background, which sounds great. And the instruments are just bouncing off each other in this song like crazy. But I love it. It's got really. I mean, the thing is, this song I think needs to be appreciated from a certain perspective, how well all these instruments are working together, considering they're all just making a racket, really. But it sounds incredible. I love the guitar work. Clapton's vocals are brilliant. It's this amazing heavy blues song, and I love it. 8 out of 10. Great track. Then the next track up is Can't Let You Do It, which is, of course, a J.J. Cale song. And, the last album was all J.J. Cale covers, and we get 2 more on this album. So I know what a lot of you are probably doing. They're probably rolling your eyes now like, we know what Clapton's like. He's always going to do J.J. songs. I mean, come on. You cut the guy a break. He's just doing what he enjoys. So anyway, I'm really pleased he's doing another one because it wouldn't feel like a Clapton album now without at least one J.J. song. But anyway, you can really hear the kind of... It's really slowed down, this song. It really has a country blues vibe to it, which J.J. of course captured. And he's really capturing it again really well. And it's nice lead guitar moments on it, really great. Song has a really nice beat to it, I think. It's really good. And I like the double vocals which Clapton done. He'd sing the song twice in 2 different kind of tones. And, that's of course how JJ done a lot of his songs. And it really does sound like a JJ Cale song. So it sounds really good. He captured the song perfectly. I love the backing vocals from... I forget, he has this kind of Jamaican backing band on a lot of his live performances, which you can see on things like the Crossroads Guitar Festival. So, I mean, it's really, really cool and they sound fantastic backing on this song. Great guitar solo in this as well. So this song's going to get an 8 out of 10 as well. Fantastic. And then we move on to a track called I Will Be There, which is an even slower song. And I kind of relate this one to Chronicles period sound. And Chronicles was the 1999 compilation release, of course. But it had 2 new songs on. I Get Lost and A Blue Eyes Blue. And of course it has Changed the World and Tears in Heaven on. And this song kind of reminds me of them Clapton feeling songs from the 90s. Really good. It's another cover song called by a man called Paul Bradley, or Bradley. Yeah, I think that's it. I tell you my handwriting. I don't know why I rush my notes because I can't read it afterwards. Anyway, I'm gonna go to the digipack again. Make sure I've got the name right. I probably haven't. Where are we? Paul Brady. I think that's it. Yeah. Anyway, let's pop that back over there. I'm gonna be grabbing that thing a few more times. I can tell by the time this video's up. But anyway, such a fun song with this great, these great slowed down vocals. They just sound fantastic. And, you can hear it today in a lot of musicians from the 70s, how they've, from 60s, 70s, that kind of period that Clapton's from. You can hear it in a lot of these singers, how they've had to change their vocals, their singing style. You can even hear it in McCartney a bit, and you know me, I love McCartney. You can hear it in all of them. They've all had to change their vocal style a bit. Some of them obviously don't sound as good as what they used to. But Clapton is proving on this song, his vocals are still just as good as they were in the 70s and 80s. Just fantastic. the vocals work incredibly well, with the backing vocals, of course. And of course, he shares the song with a guy called Angelo Mysterioso. I think that's it. Angelo Mysterioso. I think that's right. I think I actually got that one right. I'm quite proud of myself there. So he shares the vocals with him. They Clapton sings first verse. They do the chorus together. Then Angelo will come in, do the next verse, and they'll come together in the chorus again. It's so good because Clapton always collaborates with someone. You know, in the 70s he had, I can't think of her name, but you guys know the girl I'm talking about who sung on the song The Core on Slow Hand. And then on his most recent proper studio album, well, proper album I say, Old Sock Just Here, he'd done a song with Mr. Paul McCartney, which a lot of Beatles fans don't actually know about. A lot of Paul McCartney fans, I bet, haven't heard that song. So if you're interested, Eric Clapton and Paul McCartney, All of Me. Fantastic, fantastic song. I love it. But anyway, so yeah, of course, he brought someone in here to do a cover, and it's fantastic. I'm going to give I Will Be There a 9 out of 10. Great track. Then we move on to the song Spiral, which was the single and had a fantastic music video. It really was incredible. And I'm just going to give you the score right now for this song because it's a 10. This is the one song on the album which I consider to be perfect. I love it. It is just got this, written by Clapton as well. It's a Clapton written one. Great song. Fantastic guitar opening riff to it. It has a bit of a slow, jazzy kind of feel to it in the background as well. Great vocals. The lyrics are great. Just him singing about, you know, how, you know, you don't know how it feels to have this music in me, blah, blah, blah. You know, he's just basically singing about all the, how, I'm grateful, I guess, is the word to use. How grateful it is that he's singing these songs, and he's just basically singing about how he enjoys, you know, making these out. I'm guessing this is, you know, it's like he enjoys performing songs like from J.J. Cale and Robert Johnson and B.B. King and stuff like that. So it's really good lyrically, really interesting. 10 out of 10 song. I love it. Great. Then we move on to the next track, which is the other song written by Clapton, of course, and that's called Catch the Blues. And really, if I hadn't looked at the notes, I would have said, you know, I reckon this is by Robert Johnson, one of them really old bluesy ones, because it really feels like a classic blues song. So really good there. Fantastic slow bluesy song. You can really hear a bit of J.J. Cale influence in there as well, with a bit of a country vibe. I love the acoustic sound which he gets on this album, and it just has great vocals. I love the backing vocals again. Fantastic. This song actually is, if I was ever to make like a compilation of classic blues songs, this song could possibly be on there. It really captures the blues song. Just a fantastic country blues song. Love it. 9 out of 10 for that song. Great. And then we get to the weaker track on the album, but I still like it, and it's Cypress Grove even. Nearly said blues then. By Skip James, the original writer of the song. Another heavier one, as I say, like Alabama Woman Blues, you know, very similar to that song. However, Alabama Woman Blues kind of changed, adapted, it had lots of different things going on in it. This song sounds great. It's, you know, it's great vocals from Clapton. I love the piano work in the background. It's great for about a minute, but the song goes on for 5 minutes, and it generally doesn't change. It doesn't adapt. It doesn't do too much. And unfortunately, I'm going to give it more than a 5 because I still enjoyed the song, so it's not a bad song. And I say anything below a 5 is bad, anything above is good, anything with a 5 is average. I think it's just a bit above average. I think it's still an interesting, fun, you know, kind of classic heavy blues song. However, the fact that it goes on 5 minutes and really doesn't do much, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Still a good song, but as I say, just not one of the better ones on the album. Then we move on to what would be the second vinyl record. So then we move on to a track called Little Man, You've Had a Busy Day, which is by someone called Al Hoffman. Again, not familiar with this guy, so this is the first time I'm hearing this song. But it's a really nice slow acoustic song, this one. I really like, you know, how it's such a nice, easy listening song. Because we haven't had too many of them on the album so far. I guess Catch the Blues is one, and I Will Be There, quite slow. But I think this is probably the most nice, easy listening one yet. Amazing vocals from Eric. through this song. I think this could be his best vocal performance on the album. But then again, his vocals are incredible all the way through. And I like how the song slowly adds more to it, as in it builds up, gets a bit louder, gets a little bit more instruments on board with the song. Really good track though, so I am going to give that one a 9 out of 10. Great song there. Then we move on to a Robert Johnson song, Stones in My Pathway. And I consider Robert Johnson one of the first, musicians, really. I mean, I know that, music has been going for years and years and years. But Robert Johnson being the one who really brought blues to a new level of popularity. And he really started up this genre of music, I think. It's just so great to see Eric. I mean, he'd done the album, of course, Me and Mr. Johnson, and then Sessions for Robert J, back to back, which were just complete tribute albums for Robert Johnson. But it's still nice to see him go back there once or twice on an album to pay tribute to the man who started it all. And Stones in My Pathway is definitely one of Robert Johnson's best songs. And the fact that Eric missed it off them other two albums is, well, I'm pleased he's come back to it finally. So it's a really, really great blues feeling song. Great accordion work in it to bring a bit of characteristic to the song over other songs on the album. It really does bring the song to life a bit more, and I love the loud vocals on this one. Really cool. I'm going to give this track an 8 out of 10. Really solid song there. And we move on to I Dreamed I Saw St. Augustine, which of course, Bob Dylan. So I know there's a lot of Bob Dylan fans really excited at the minute because he's just released Fallen Angel. I believe that's the name of his new album, which of course came out same day as Eric's, and of course Tom Petty's Mudcrutch. And I actually believe that Bob Dylan beat Eric out by 1. Bob Dylan got number 5 in the charts, while Eric got number 6. I think they should be switched around myself, but hey, let's not start any arguments here, Bob Dylan or Eric. We're all entitled to our opinions, of course. But I really like the original by Bob Dylan. It's actually a really good song. And, Eric is my personal favourite musician, and to see him doing a song which I love is just fantastic. So, I like the harmonica in this one, really good. Kind of a bit of a wink to Bob Dylan there, being such a great harmonica player. And yeah, I don't know, it's just really, really good. It's a really fun song. It has some great backing vocals in it as well. It's just a really good song. I've really enjoyed this one. It's such an easy listening one. I've got my foot tap into it every time I've played it. So yeah, 8 out of 10. Great track there. And then we get a track called I'll Be Alright, which is a really nice, slower, more easy listening song again. Really like the accordion in this one again. This one definitely gives this song a bit more characteristics. Has a great guitar solo in it as well. Nice vocals from Clapton, but I think it's a very safe song, this one. So, definitely not one of my favourites, but I wouldn't quite say it's... I do prefer it over Cypress Grove. So I am going to give this one a 7 out of 10. And then we move on to the track Somebody's Knocking, which JJ Gow, I love this song. This is a great song. If you want to hear some traditional epic blues, this is the song to go for on the album. This is the most bluesy feeling song you're going to get on the album. And it's great, it's brilliant. It goes through, it's got the country blues feel to it, of course. And I love the guitar work, and it's really capturing that JJ feel, of course. Takes a while for the vocals to kick in, but that's kind of typical of blues songs. You've got to kind of expect that. The vocals just sound great when they do arrive, and this is just my kind of song. I know some people are probably like, a bit long, not too much happens, but the song really does have some great moments in it. It has a nice little guitar solo bit. It is a fantastic song. It has everything I really want in a song. I'm going to give this track a 9 out of 10. It is a really fun track. I love it. And then the last track up, I'll Be Seeing You, is by a guy called Sammy Fain. I think that's it, Sammy Fain. Again, I can't read my own handwriting, but I can't be bothered to grab the digipack again. But anyway, it's a nice, slow, jazzy number for Eric to go out with on this album. It's just a nice little peaceful, fun song. I mean, it's not great, it's not one of the best on the album, but again, not the worst on the album. So I am going to give this one a 7 out of 10 as well. So that's it for the songs. I guess my overall opinion of this album for Eric would be, it really does remind me of Slowhand, of course, being produced by Glyn Johns. you know, I've heard a few people say that they felt the album was lacking something, and you know, my opinion of this is, I think on first listen, everyone thinks that of Slow Hand as well, but Slow Hand's been around for 39 years now, so now people have had time to play it to death, and the more you play it, the more you appreciate the album Slow Hand, and I do think it is exactly the same with this. The more you play it, the more you start to dig into it, the more you will start to appreciate it, because really, this is a brilliant album. It's got a bit of everything. It's got some nice slow Clapton. It's got some heavy blues Clapton. It's, you know, it's just got, you know, this is why I kind of pulled some of these albums out. You know, it has, you know, from the cradle feeling songs on it. It'll go back to some classic kind of slow hand feeling songs like Spiral. And then you'll have some that remind you of that 90s phase from Clapton where he was doing the Chronicles, you know, slow bluesy stuff. You get some J.J. Cale stuff, and then he pays homage to some artists like Robert Johnson. So I think this is a really damn good album from Clapton. You know, Clapton normally goes down one route. Like, he'll do some nice slow jazzy numbers throughout the whole album, really. Or he'll do a bit of a reggae kind of feeling album, or a heavy blues album, or a slow blues album. But this one has little bits from everywhere, which is fantastic. So I think the more that you listen to this album, the more you will appreciate it. And it is a great album, this. Fantastic one. But anyway, now let's go over the album artwork. As you can see, I haven't taken it out of shrink, so we can't see the gatefold. But the gatefold is in the CD, so we can take a look at it that way. But anyway, the cover, of course, by Peter Blake, the man who designed Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band by the Beatles. The Who's Let's... Oh, Face Dances, even. So, I love the album cover. I love the back cover to the album, and Eric got eczema during the first couple weeks of recording this album, so he had to wear mittens the whole time, which is a bit of a shame there, and you can see all the plasters around his fingers there, and his hands really don't look well, but hey, he's a trooper, he got through it, and of course there's all the track listings. There we go, there's the man. So yeah, really cool. Got a nice big sticker on there as well, I like that, that's really cool. You can actually see my Eric poster there in the reflection. Just. Yeah, now let's, I'll show you the inner sleeves before we look at the gatefold. And it's really nice because they have actually put some effort into the inner sleeves. They haven't just given us plain white ones. Which is really nice. The labels are pretty plain, but yeah, who cares? So, there's that one. And I'll show you the sleeve to the second record as well. If I can get if I can get this one back in, that is. So, yeah, there we go. Really like that picture. That's quite a nice one. And you can see him there with his mittens. Actually, you can see him here with the producer wearing his mittens still. So that's really cool. And of course, you've got loads of information here about all the original writers of each track, because I probably butchered a couple names in this video. Now if we move over to the CD is actually brilliantly designed now, and I just did get the Mudcrutch 2 album as well, and the CD packaging to that one is awful. I really don't like the way it's designed very much, and I am planning a review of Mudcrutch 2 this week or next week, so it won't be long till we can dive into that one, and I can tell you what I mean. But, so here's CD, of course exactly the same. Opens up, and then it opens up again, and the CD slides out of here. The CD design is pretty plain though, I can't lie, so I won't, you know, just like the vinyl centre, so I won't bother showing you that. But you don't get a book with this, which I really actually like, because it seems like every bloody album's doing a book now, so it's actually kind of cool that Eric's being pretty unique here. And we get this, a little, you know, looks like a board where I've just pinned up some photos and stuff, and then you get the poster on the other side, which is really cool. I really like that. So, pretty unique and different there, I'd say, for today's standards, that is. And I did actually keep the shrink for the CD as well, just because I wanted to keep the sticker. So, yeah. But album artwork-wise, I think this is the first time I've ever done this for album artwork, and I've reviewed 10 albums, maybe 12. On my channel now, since I've introduced the new scoring system, and I'm actually going to give the artwork for this album a 10 out of 10. And I say that because I love the, gatefold. I love the cover. And I love the back cover. I mean, I know it's just him wearing some mittens, but it's actually relevant to the album. And I'm sorry, I really do love the Electric Light Orchestra and Jeff Lynne. And I did love this album. But when I looked at the back cover of this album, I really almost wanted to vomit. I'm sorry, Jeff, I love you. ELO, you're incredible. This album is incredible. But look at how he's cropped on here, and the ELO logo just looks so out of place. It's like, at least there's something called relevance to the back cover here. So I'm going to give that a 10 out of 10. So now what I've done is I've actually added up all of the scores and divided them by the total number of scores I've given this album. So of course there's 12 tracks plus the album artwork. So I've added up all the scores, divided them by 13. And this album is getting overall an 8.3. 8.3 for Eric Clapton's new album, I Still Do. It's a must check out. So what we're going to do now is we're going to head over to the album ranking board. So yeah, here we are over at the album ranking board, of course, and here is the slip. Eric Clapton's I Still Do with an 8.3. So we got Mud Crutch here with Mud Crutch, the self-titled, at an 8.5. So it's going to go just below. So I'm going to put it over this side. It's going to go just there. Pretty close to Mud Crutch, pretty close. Their first album, of course, not their new one. Their new one will be going on there some point this week. So then Eric Clapton's I Still Do has been beaten by Mud Crutch, Eric Clapton's Back Home, and Derek the Domino's Layla. But it has managed to beat out Peter Gabriel Carr, Lindsey Buckingham Go Insane, Paul McCartney's McCartney, George Harrison 33 and a third, Phil Collins Face Value, The Who, Face Dances, and John Lennon and Yoko Ono Sometime in New York City. So not too bad, really. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope you've all enjoyed it. Of course, Eric Clapton's I Still Do. Go check it out. It is a great album. It covers so many phases of Eric. Really is a fantastic new album from him. And the scary fact is, I know he said something in an interview. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. But if this is his last album, it's a great one to go out with. So go check it out. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. And don't forget, Mud Crutch 2 review is on the way soon as well. So thank you guys for watching. And I'll see you next time. Bye.
Somebody knocking. Somebody knocking at my door.